Check out their full line of JCB construction equipment or visit SeversJCB.com.
The YMCA is just a starting line for the true self-blend. What makes us tick below the surface? Why is the before-work hustle and after-school home a section of my block, the corner to call my own? With my why, I stand strong, seen and supported all along. It's a million faces in a mirror, and everyone belongs. Find your why. Join today at ymca.org for a better us.
How'd you like to eliminate your expensive cable bill forever or get new satellite internet where cable can't go? Well, now you can have affordable satellite internet service for a few dollars a day. All you need is a mini satellite installed, and you can have unlimited internet connections wirelessly in your home or office. And no cable boxes means unlimited connections and no clutter. You can surf the internet or stream any of your favorite television services with no cable. And the best part is, satellite internet service costs only a few dollars a day for your entire home. Yes, fast internet to surf or stream television for a few bucks a day. Call now for free details and learn how to drop your expensive cable bill.
800-696-2871. 800-696-2871. 800-696-2871. That's 800-696-2871.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at newstalkstl.com.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. A troubling debate performance by President Biden has forced lawmakers to grapple with a crisis that could upend the election. White House correspondent Greg Clugston with that report.
At this point, the White House and campaign have said Joe Biden has no intention of dropping out of the race against Donald Trump. But Democrats are asking urgent questions about his age and capacity to be president. With each passing day, more and more Biden allies in the Democratic Party are openly questioning whether he should be on the ticket, and if not, then who? Greg Clugston, Washington.
Also at townhall.com, National Hurricane Center senior specialist Jack Bevan says Beryl is headed to Jamaica and the Cayman Islands, backing 145-mile-per-hour winds.
The hurricane is moving in a west-northwesterly direction at about 20 miles per hour. We expect on that track it will pass near Jamaica sometime later today and sometime later tonight near the Cayman Islands. And after that, it'll turn probably a little more westward and head for the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico, where it will get to sometime on Friday.
The Category 4 storm has killed at least 6 people now. Firefighters battling a growing wildfire in Northern California. It's forced at least 13,000 people to evacuate. With another day of extreme heat expected, the Thompson Fire sent up a huge plume of smoke. It's grown to nearly 5 square miles. There was no word of any injuries. It broke out Tuesday about 70 miles north of Sacramento in and around Oroville. Authorities say a Russian missile and drone attack in the eastern Ukrainian city of Dnipro has killed 5 civilians and injured about 47 others. The debris affected a shopping mall, school, and hospitals. Dnipro is Ukraine's 4th largest city. More on these stories at townhall.com.
They're Trump's most diehard fans in the front row at every Trump rally.
You had to love the United States of America. You had to support Mr. Donald Trump's re-election.
Trump's Front Row Shows is the new 2-part documentary offering the first inside look at the men and women standing shoulder to shoulder with Trump in the greatest political movement in American history.
The kind of basis for all the rallies, there's like dead fans.
Like-minded people following their hero all around the country, exhausting their bank accounts, camping out for days in the freezing cold and scorching heat to support Trump's re-election and make America great again.
The Front Row Joes are very successful, incredible people.
Trump's Front Row Joes, from executive producer Sean Spicer, former White House press secretary and communications director for President Donald J. Trump.
Friendships I've made over the years as a Front Row Joe, it's probably the best part of it.
Don't miss Trump's Front Row Joes. Watch it now. Go to salemnow.com. salemnow.com.
Russian military ships visiting Cuba and Venezuela.
Russian news agency TASS, citing Russia's Ministry of Defense, says the vessels will make an initial stopover in Cuba. The two are part of Russia's Northern Fleet, which since May 17 has been carrying out tasks and include guaranteeing the Russian naval presence in remote areas of the ocean. The stopovers to last several days and highlights the close ties between Moscow and Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro's government. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
Severe overcrowding and a lack of exits contributed to a stampede at a religious festival in northern India, leaving at least 121 people dead. Some 250,000 people turned up for that event Tuesday that was permitted to accommodate only 80,000. It was also not clear just what sparked the panic. Breaking news at townhall.com. Some people don't want the scene of a mass shooting demolished.
Plans to tear down a small Texas church where a gunman in 2017 killed more than 24 worshipers have been held up as there's a push to stop that demolition. Leaders of First Baptist Church of Sutherland Springs have not publicly announced the timeline. On Tuesday, a Texas judge approved a temporary restraining order sought by some families to delay demolition, but an attorney for the families say they're concerned the demolition could still proceed since the church had still not been served the order. Authorities say 26 people died in what remains the deadliest church shooting in U.S. history. Keith Peters reporting.
An Arkansas grocery store where 4 people were killed in a mass shooting has reopened, and community leaders call it an important step in the community's healing process. The Mad Butcher Grocery reopened after that mass shooting in Fortis, Arkansas. More on these stories at townhall.com. I'm Joe.
This hour of News Talk STL brought to you by Chris Cooper and Serenity Wealth Management. Discover little-known strategies that could be the difference between choosing the care you deserve or having someone else decide it for you. Get a free copy of Chris's book at serenityltc.com. From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
Another round of showers and thunderstorms expected this afternoon that could lead us through the evening commute. Some of these could be heavy and primarily from the St. Louis area southward and eastward. Then we'll get a lull with maybe a spot shower in the evening, but heavy rain possible by tomorrow morning. Now, some of these storms south of us this afternoon could become severe. The heavy rain should move out by mid-morning, and we'll have lots of dry time on the 4th of July, but a few spot showers and thunderstorms are possible during the evening, right around fireworks time. So be prepared for rain at any time on the 4th.
Number 1 for live and local
conservative talk.
Well, what are you talking about?
News, analysis, and opinion.
The only person on this stage is a convicted felon is the man I'm looking at right now. That's why you had no terror at all during my administration. Everything we have to do with, look, if we finally beat Medicare. He was right, he did beat Medicare. He beat it to death, and he's destroying Medicare.
101.9 and 94.1.
St. Louis is number 1 for conservative talk.
News Talk STL. This hour of Colombo and Katie brought to you by Gutter Pros. Water goes where we tell it. Call 314-656-7195 or visit them at gutterpros.com. Tony Colombo.
Libertarianism is all about individual liberty.
Katie Fitzpatrick.
Oh, good for you.
Colombo and Katie on News Talk STL.
Time to rise has been engaged. Your better best to rearrange. I'm talking here to me alone. I listen to the finest word song, the finest hour, the finest hour. Another chance has been engaged.
Well, we're off and running. Hello and welcome to Colombo and Katie. Is supposed to be a very special edition of Colombo and Katie.
I just lipped to you. Like I just
it's not working.
And I don't know why I did that.
I have a whole lot of these that I want to play today. Okay. Is it not working?
No.
Oh boy.
Wait, so but you know what?
I know there was problems.
Hold on. We had to retake the board.
Hold on. I know there were problems last couple days when I wasn't here, and maybe some of them have lingered on. Welcome to Wednesday, July 3rd. We're about ready to go into a holiday, hopefully an extended weekend for many of you, and it's my first day back after a very family, emotional, fun, awesome, but a lot going on. Disney Florida vacation. My daughter turned 21. She got engaged to be married on the same trip.
So great.
Now I'm back in time for one day to try to catch up on everything before this holiday weekend, and it's Katie's last show.
It's insane. It's insane.
A lot going on today. We've got a lot to cover. We'll it might get a little bit you might get a little emotional in here a couple times throughout the show, as it is Katie's last show, and we've got a lot of cool little tributes to her. But we are also going to talk about everything. I mean, I have a lot to catch up on. I have a lot of questions for Katie, for our guests. I've got a lot of new information to get out there to all of you. So it is a packed show today. Do we think this might be working again, or should we not even?
Know. Maybe try. Just give it a try.
Okay.
Give it a try.
Want to try it? Okay,
Yeah,
let's see what happens.
I don't
here.
think
This was supposed to happen at the beginning of the show.
Okay.
But let's see.
I don't think it is.
No, it's not.
Well, because we had those freaking technical difficulties the other day. Now it's like the board is reset. Darn.
We got a lot of people that recorded things for you.
Oh. Uh-oh. Ruh-roh.
Yeah, Katie didn't know what was going to happen. But now I have to tell her because we got it broken.
So maybe should you send them to me and then I'll just play them?
Yeah, I guess.
I guess that's what we have to do.
That doesn't make it as cool.
Jeff Allen, come look at this.
Oh God, that's the last thing we need is Jeff Allen in here with all this going on.
I don't know.
We'll figure out our technical issues. We will say goodbye to Katie, and we will say hello to the 4th of July holiday. All at once this afternoon. It is Wednesday, which means we will also open up Close's Cabinet. We'll talk to our buddy Mark Close from KC95 and Skip Weber from Weber Chevrolet. And about an hour from now, a little after 3 o'clock. Also, we are going to talk to Missouri State Representative Justin Sparks, who's usually with us on Thursdays, but since tomorrow's the holiday, he's going to join us at 2:45 this afternoon. And in about 15 minutes from now, as we do every Wednesday, we're going to talk to Missouri political insider Rodney Boyd. There's a lot of craziness happening, obviously, in national politics with everything happening with Joe Biden and calls for him to step down. But there's also some crazy things happening in local Missouri politics. The presidential delegates have been from the state of Missouri have been rejected by the RNC. Again, one of these stories that have developed while I was gone. So I need to be caught up to speed as much as everybody else does. And I'm sure Rodney Boyd is the perfect person to do that. The board's broken. Yeah, there you go. That's gonna be your only sign now.
That's beautiful. Thank you, Joe.
Joe just taped a sign up to the window that says wishing Katie all the best on her last day at News Talk STL. For those of you who may not know, we announced it last week, but Katie is leaving the station, leaving radio and media all together. Well, traditional media, I guess, and going and has taken a social media gig. And
I did.
We're thrilled for you, but sad for us.
Yeah, I am. It's just wild. It's all wild. It feels like just yesterday I was. That's great. Katie, the quitter Fitzpatrick. Wow. I feel so loved. Wow. I feel so missed. Yeah, it's good. It's a wild journey. It was a sad decision. I love this place. I love the people I work with, but I did get a position that I couldn't pass up.
Yeah. Don't get into your big emotional speech yet, because we will do that.
We still got things to, we got things to cover.
So as we try to figure out our technical issues here, let's dive in to the headlines of the day. Joe Biden has reportedly told a key ally that he is considering dropping out of the race. President Biden told a key ally this week that he is aware he may be forced to withdraw from the presidential race if he cannot salvage the public's opinion of his mental capacity in the coming days. This is all from a brand new New York Times report today. The ally, this person that Biden spoke to directly, spoke to the New York Times directly and told the Times that Biden is focused on ensuring that his upcoming interview with George Stephanopoulos at ABC, as well as campaign stops in Pennsylvania and Wisconsin, must go flawlessly. This person said, quote, he knows if he has 2 more events like that, we're in a different place. White House spokesperson Andrew Bates flatly denied this report in a statement on Twitter, saying that that claim is absolutely false. And Karine Jean-Pierre said today in the White House press briefing that the president is, quote, absolutely not considering dropping out of the race. He has been now, at least by one serving Democrat, Representative Lloyd Doggett of Texas, has publicly yesterday afternoon called on Joe Biden to drop out of the race. And there are reports that others have been doing so or are meeting about it behind the scenes. But so far, only one Democrat member of Congress has said it publicly that the president needs to step down. We've got this report from the New York Times that according to the Times, the president has admitted it in person that this is something that may have to happen, him stepping down. But still, at this moment, the official word from the White House is, again, Karine Jean-Pierre today in the press briefing said Joe Biden is absolutely not considering dropping out of the race.
This is just interesting because you see pundits that have supported him wholeheartedly, like Joe Scarborough, like Mika, even after the debate, went on like a 10-minute monologue about how wonderful Joe Biden still is, how strong he still is, how capable he still is, even after the debate. That's how brainwashed and delusional people can be. But besides that point, there are so many other pundits that have said, thank God this happened in June so that we can make a game plan before November. So it's baffling to me that we have these pundits who are diehard Joe Biden people coming out saying, now is the time to strike so we have enough time for the campaign to raise money, fundraising, to get people riled up for the person that needs to take over for Joe Biden. And we have a White House saying he's not going anywhere. So when does the decision need to be made is my question. How much longer can the White House keep going? How much longer can Karine Jean-Pierre go to the podium and say, nothing's wrong here, everything is fine? They have a finite amount of time, Tony, before November 5th.
You would think that the answer to that question is ASAP, that they can't wait. And I've heard.
But why isn't it?
And there have been also reports and rumors out since the debate, to your point about this idea of thank God this happened in June. Well, typically presidential debates are not this early in the year. They're not usually in June. So there is an idea out there that this was on purpose.
Gabe said that, remember, last Friday.
Let's do the report that early. Let's have the debate this early in the process to see where Joe is. And if he does flop like he did, then we have time. If we wait to the traditional, just maybe a couple of months, 6 weeks out from the presidential election, it will be too late to do anything about it. So maybe this was, part of the plan for the Democrats to give themselves the time that you're talking about. It's still not much time.
No, it
My
isn't.
goodness.
How are you going to raise money for someone like a Gavin Newsom in this short amount of time? I have no idea. But I will say this, I'm reveling in the idea that this is the grave that they dug themselves. I am absolutely loving that the fact is they did this because of Joe Biden. And now if they take away Joe Biden, it has to be Kamala Harris. This is all their fault. This is entirely their fault. And I'm like, well, that's what happens.
I mentioned Joe Biden has that interview with George Stephanopoulos coming up that they're saying, he has to ace that. But again, nothing's like a live debate. An interview of any kind can be edited, can be scripted.
Could be done at 9:00 in the morning when you're perked up and ready to go.
So I'm sure he'll look a lot better in that interview than he did on a live debate stage. But speaking of George Stephanopoulos, Nikki Haley got some shots in over the last 24 hours. Because if you remember, last August, I think it was, Nikki Haley was on ABC being interviewed by George, and she said that Joe Biden wasn't going to make it through his term.
Yeah.
And she was in the middle of the statement. Like, he had asked her some question about Joe Biden, and she said, well, we all, said, Joe Biden's not going to make it through his term. He's not mentally capable of doing that. And that's why we need to, and she just started, to continue to answer question. And George Stephanopoulos, excuse me.
Oh gosh, sir.
How can you say that? What is that? What do you mean he's not going to make it through the end of his, what is that based on? How can you just say that? And she tweeted out yesterday, believe me now, George.
Yeah. Yeah. Because this is Tony. There is nothing more. Gosh, I keep forgetting that Friday you were driving and then arriving at Disney.
I saw the debate.
Yeah, absolutely.
I watched the debate.
But
so
I just wish that day you and I would have been able to be in the room together, because there is no hiding that, right?
No.
There is nowhere for Joe Biden to run and hide and turn anymore, and nowhere for his staff to deflect us to. That was the moment. And you can do 100 more George interviews, or with Joe Scarborough, or with Joy Reid. You can do 100 more of those interviews, but you're not going to convince anybody to not see what they saw last Thursday.
No, and you can't get anybody, they can't cover for it anymore. They can't lie about it anymore, because it was too obvious. And we said that going in. We were talking about that going in. He's not going to be able. I talked about it when we were on stage at the Funny Bone last week at the Saving America event. I asked the audience, I said, does anybody think he can make it 90 minutes? Does anybody think Joe Biden could go 90 minutes and stay sharp? I mean,
he didn't even go 5.
No,
he couldn't even go 5.
I thought he'd start the debate okay, because he'd be, fresh off the injection of whatever, and it would be the last half hour, the home stretch of the debate, where things might fall apart. He didn't even start well. He was a mess from the beginning.
And then the afterward, whenever he went to that rally, and Jill, I think you and I were talking about that clip of Jill Biden being like, we are so proud of you, of the man you are. And you answered every single question right on that stage, Joe. And Joe was just like, thanks, mommy. I'm so happy to be here. Just disappointing.
Did you see the latest excuses from the president about why?
Just cold.
Well, he had the cold.
No,
there's more. He's now blaming his recent trips to Europe for his rocky performance at the presidential debate. He was speaking last night at a campaign fundraiser in Virginia, and he said it wasn't very smart of him to be traveling around the world beforehand. He spoke, I'm sorry, this was this morning. He was speaking this morning, and he said that Biden spoke, his pressure remains high Wednesday morning for the president to withdraw his reelection bid and let another Democrat pursue the nomination. He said, quote, I decided to travel around the world a couple times shortly before the debate. I didn't listen to my staff, and then I almost fell asleep on stage. This was last night in Virginia at this campaign event that he said. Biden added that he was sorry for his performance at the debate, but said it was critical to win in November's presidential election. He said, quote, it's not an excuse, but it is an explanation. The president also highlighted that the DNC has raised millions since the debate, so he, quote, feels good about it.
That wasn't
I feel good about it. Yeah. He said, I should have listened to my staff. I traveled around the world a couple times shortly before the debate, and I was just tired from that. Not an excuse, but an explanation. I thought he had a cold.
Yeah, I thought.
Which is it? How many more things are they going to make?
I thought you were sick. So what? I mean, and also, you had a week's worth of training at Camp David before the debate.
Yes.
I don't want to hear the wah, boo-hoo, I got a cold, suck it on my thumb. You had more debate prep than any other president before any other debate,
He
sir.
was resting and rehearsing.
You were on the beach
for a week at Camp David before the debate. You can't blame it on your European trip that was
Get out
before all of that. All right, we have got more to talk about. There's multiple brand new polls out showing the Democrats' best chance of beating Trump, who that person is and who that person isn't. Also, the president is supposed to be meeting with a group of Democratic governors tonight in Washington, D.C. to talk about the future. One of those governors is J.B. Pritzker, who has made a statement about the situation. So I want to get into all of that and continue that discussion. But we need to talk about Missouri politics because there is just as much to report on here with local politics as there are with the national politics. And that's why we have Missouri political insider Rodney Boyd joining us next on Colombo and Katie.
You're listening to Colombo and Katie. Colombo and Katie, the new faces of talk radio. News, analysis,
I'm glad you're talking about this.
opinion.
I'm glad you're fired up about it too, because I know I am.
News Talk STL.
So this time of year, a lot of people like to be enjoying outside, enjoying your yard, kids playing outside. You are grilling and things like that. Of course, hopefully we get a good 4th of July holiday tomorrow. And the one thing that can really mess that up is if you have a pest issue, bugs around your home. And that is why we trust All Solutions Pest Control at our home to put up that shield around our house and prevent a pest issue from happening. We keep the All Solutions Pest Control at our home, the service at our home all year round, because every season brings its own pest issue. But right now, with the mosquitoes and the ants and the wasps and the other things that come along with this time of year, it is a great time to make sure that your home is protected by All Solutions Pest Control. And right now, you can take advantage of their $67 introductory special. So if you have an issue, a pest problem at your home, of course, All Solutions can take care of you. But more than that, to prevent that from happening in your home, take advantage of this awesome special from All Solutions Pest Control. Learn more about that $67 introductory special and everything they can do for you and your home at allsolutionspestcontrol.com. Freedom isn't just a word. It should be a way of life for all Missourians. Wouldn't it be wonderful to live in a state where you're free from excessive taxes, regulations, and corporate handouts, and free to send your children to the school of your choice? That's why we at the Show Me Institute put together our 2024 Missouri Blueprint, a roadmap on how the state can progress to a bright future. The blueprint covers policy ideas from a Bill of Rights for parents to government transparency, school report cards, healthcare reform, and more. Our vision is for Missouri to be a place where entrepreneurs can pursue their dreams, parents are free to direct the education of their children, and a growing economy provides opportunities for all. Critical to achieving this vision is a government that understands the value of freedom in the lives and future of our people. Check out our 2024 Missouri Blueprint, moving Missouri forward at showmeinstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
Mike Ferguson in the morning.
Democrats have a very big decision to make, and on Monday, we've got the update. Will Joe Biden actually be on the ballot come November?
Morning starting at 5:30 on News Talk STL.
My shoes, my toes are busted. My kitchen says my bread is
Hey, Katie, it's Stel. Thank you so much for being a wonderful friend and a great radio colleague. Thank you for welcoming me and for coming alongside and teaching me the ropes, because talk radio is a little bit different than music radio. We're excited about your new gig, but we're going to miss you. We love you and we wish you all the best.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
That's what you were supposed to hear at the beginning of the show. And we've got more of those as we go through today, Wednesday afternoon. Katie's last show with us. We will say our goodbyes in the final segment of the show today, but we've got some well wishes for her as we go through the afternoon. But there's a lot of business going on and there's a lot to talk about today. So we've got to continue the conversation here. And as I mentioned, with all of the stuff happening nationally surrounding the president and his debate performance, and could there be this unprecedented change at the ticket this late in the game in this election season, that has taken up all of the space, but there's plenty to talk about here happening in the state of Missouri as well. And that is why we have, as we do every Wednesday, Rodney Boyd, Missouri political insider, on the line with us, Rodney. And it's not only something unprecedented or maybe very, or at least very rare happening up in Washington, D.C., but also here in Missouri with this story about the presidential delegates not being accepted by the RNC. I've been gone on Katie's leaving. I've been gone on vacation. My daughter turned 21 and got engaged. It's a madhouse, Rodney. I'm doing everything I can just to keep up with this world. Could you please fill us in on what is happening here with these delegates in the state of Missouri?
Well, let me tell you, I've been on the same frequency as you. I was out on vacation, came back just in time to see one of the most bizarre debates in my lifetime. Got inundated with the all this other stuff, and sort of just snuck up on me as well. So you and I are both going to have to do our homework on the delegation issue.
What is the RNC saying right now? Was there some kind of paperwork problem? Was there some kind of timing issue? Do we know what the basics of the problem with the Missouri delegates are? And I guess, do we just have to do it again? Do we have to appoint new delegates?
I think, well, we absolutely, but I think, what do we have? 12 days, a couple of days. I mean, the clock is ticking,
Yeah.
like it's, I don't know the exact problem, but I know the clock is ticking. They have to replace, I mean, we've got 12 days, 10 days, to replace 54 delegates and alternates. So, and apparently all I know is there was supposed to be some irregularities into how we selected our delegates and how we presented them, and it didn't meet the RNC committee rules. So they have to replace these 54 people. And I don't know if you can follow the rules and end up being many of the same people.
Right.
But it's just bizarre.
It is.
And by the way, the list of, that is interesting because two of the delegates that are being rejected are two candidates for governor, Ashcroft and Eigel.
Wow. Rodney, whenever we talk about this happening, one of our colleagues, Chris Arps, mentioned this the other day. There seems to be a lot of division already happening in Jeff City, as we know, within the Republican Party. But he kind of mentioned that this is going to cause even more division because some of these delegates that were kicked off and some that will be replaced have this conflict of being the establishment, might have this conflict of being called rhinos. When we have something major like this happen, doesn't it sow even more of the discourse of these name calling figures like rhino, establishment, MAGA? Because that's what people are worried about right now. Are we going to have more rhino Republicans basically as delegates?
Katie, you're highlighting a huge aspect of the issue. There are a lot of sort of shifting allegations about who is who and who is not within the Republican Party. We saw a lot of this in Jefferson City. It's a lot of personality driven. What I mean by that is, if you were to look at a person's voting record, right, just how they voted, they may have a 98%, 99%, MAGA type voting record. But on the personality side, they may be labeled as a rhino because on 1 or 2% of the issues, they weren't 100%, right? So it's gotten very, very difficult in terms of how people are categorized based on personality assessments, which it used to be. I mean, it seems like ages ago, maybe 10 years ago, a person was really determined. You determined the person's position in the party based on their voting record, not based on, other people's assessments or perceptions or things that they said. So it's changing. We're living through it. People keep asking me in different conversations about where are we and where are we going, and I say the same thing. We are writing new we're writing new chapters in the book of contemporary politics right now. So there is no precedent for some of these things, right? We can keep looking back and trying to use experiences from the past, but they don't quite fit the moment because we're in a new paradigm and we literally are rewriting the book. I mean, having all of the delegates rejected, and then I think, if I'm not mistaken, what is today? Wednesday?
Yes.
We have to have the replacements in, I think, by Friday. Because the convention is in like less than 12 days or 11 days. And so there's a lot of work. So you take Katie's perspective on the internal, I'll use this characterization of people as this or not that, no matter sometimes what the substantive record might be in terms of votes. And then it just really muddies the waters and overlay all of that with some of the most contentious statewide and regional and legislative primaries that we've seen in a long time. It is not healthy. It's not, because a lot of people are now, I mean, if you took the elected politics out of the way, you might be able to just have a real tough conversation about qualifications to be a delegate. But you can't, because you've got delegates who are running for statewide office, elected state offices, legislative offices, local county commission races, and they've got opponents in their primary and the name calling and the money. It is a very, very noxious time within the inter-party scheme right now, and it won't be better in the foreseeable future. It'll be worse.
It's overwhelming.
It is overwhelming, and there's no. One of the things that the new era has brought is there's actually no defined leader, right? So if you want to go back 20 years ago and you could say, well, Ashcroft or Bond or these people were dynamic leaders in the Missouri Party, and when they spoke, they could command entire corpuses of respect. You don't have that anymore. It's all polycentric, broken out, factionalized. In some cases, even within one county, one Senate district, there are factions that are fighting each other for power, for position, for identity as the go-to voice, right? So it's just very, 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 very overwhelming. And look, all of these things are what voters have to sort of weed their way through to make choices in about 4 weeks.
Yeah, about 4 weeks, which is the other. You were talking about how little time we have, with the delegate situation. We have very little time before the primary election, which is going to decide so many of these races around the state. But before I get to that, I wanted to ask you, because you bring up an interesting point with that lack of leader point that you made. Does some of that have to do with the fact of that we are all these statewide offices are held by people that were appointed and not elected after the Eric Greitens situation? Is that will the election by the people of a new governor, of new leadership statewide, will that help to replace that vacancy that exists right now, or is this a deeper issue running through the party?
I think the answer is partially yes, it will help, because what you'll have, after we'll wake up on August 7th and we will say the people of Missouri have said unequivocally they want these 6 or 7 people to go into November and ostensibly fill these positions, right? And then after November, with the ratification of that, then we'll be able to say for the first time in 6 or 7 years, the key positions across the state, the people have spoken. They want this person as governor, this person as lieutenant governor, this person as secretary of state, this person as attorney general. And they'll have at least the validation of being elected, chosen by the people, not, as you said, appointed as a part of a process that people didn't have a real vote in, right? Other than voting for the governor who appointed the rest of them. So
right.
I think that will give some validity. But from there, those folks will then have to sort of emerge on the issues of importance as leaders and then have their leadership validated once they take the reins of power. It's not just as simple as now you get in and now all of a sudden you can say you're the leader. That new governor, that new secretary of state, that new attorney general, they're going to have to consolidate their power through their performance.
So let's stick with the governor race for a minute here. We're talking to Missouri political insider Rodney Boyd, and we did get a poll from the Hill in June. But other than that, we've not seen any polling. There's not a whole lot to go on about this race. I mean, you got to go back to February to see numbers before that. The few polls that have been done are fairly consistent. They show Secretary Ashcroft with a lead over Mike Kehoe by, in various polls, whatever, a handful of points or whatever. And then Senator Eigel in sort of a distant third. But with the lack of polling that we have seen and no kind of debate, it's kind of hard to get a full grasp on the momentum of this race. Is there in Jeff City or in Missouri politics or in party politics in general, is there an idea of momentum of who has it and who doesn't have it and kind of the tide?
There's some polling that was shared with me yesterday that I saw again in another blog today. It's probably the most recent poll, and it shows an interesting shift from what you just described. It shows 23.6% Kehoe in the first position. Eigel has moved into second position at 19.2.
Wow.
And then for the first time, Ashcroft is at 18.9. All of those are within the margin of error, right? They're all within that margin of error. And this is a poll that I believe was taken by some company, ARW Strategies, June 27th through the 30th. So it's probably the most recent poll.
Yeah.
But in that same poll, the number one block percentage of votes are the 38% undecided. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, they're all the top three, with the first time Kehoe seems to have a slight lead. Eigel has moved into what appears to be second, and then Jay slips down, right? But 38% of the people polled were undecided. That's almost 40%. So that's the weighted vote. So what's happening, what you're going to see now, we talked about this. I think as soon as we wake up after the 4th of July, so let's just use a date that's far enough, at July 6th. From July 6th to August 6th, you have 4 weeks. You're going to see the most intense campaigning by not just these folks, but every statewide candidate, where they're trying to do two things: grab the attention of the primary voters as to why they should be chosen, and then a lot of money trying to define in a negative way their opponents. So we'll see what happens with this poll once you see millions of dollars spent, both pro and con, each of these candidates. And that's what is going to be the most difficult thing for the primary voters to sort of process, because, as we've said before, this is a primary outcome determinative state. Whoever wins on August the 6th is the presumptive winner in November and will be sworn in, barring some, So this is
for every statewide office,
yeah.
for the District 1 congressional seat. I mean, so many seats are going to potentially be decided on August 6th. It is pretty amazing. Rodney, we're almost out of time. We're going to continue the conversation about Missouri politics and get back into some of the national stuff with Representative Justin Sparks, who's going to join us in just about 5 minutes here. But before we let you go, next week, I'm sure we'll be, hitting the ground running with these conversations. But right now, does it look like we're going to see a debate between those candidates for governor in Missouri, or is this going to be battle out with the ads?
I think there will absolutely be a debate. I think it will take shape very soon. I think they all want it. This is a very tight race. And I think to some degree, all three candidates want a chance to stand again with their counterparts and distinguish themselves. So I'm pretty sure we're going to see a debate, and I'm pretty sure that the three camps want that debate because they each feel like they need a breakout moment, right? It's too tight. And they're all vying for how they can pull some percentage of that 38% into their camp. So look for a debate. Look for a very robust debate. It'll be something that I'm excited to see as we get into the final stretch.
Yeah, great stuff, Rodney. Thank you, as always, for your time. Have a great holiday, and we'll catch up with you again next week. Have a great rest of your day.
Farewell to our sister Katie.
Thank you, Rodney.
And then we'll look forward to next week.
Thank you,
Rodney. Thank you so much. Great stuff there from Missouri political insider Rodney Boyd. And as I mentioned, we're going to continue the conversation about local politics and also get some of the national news out there. We've got new polling. Speaking of polling, new polling out since the debate showing the Democrat that has the best chance of beating Donald Trump and some of the Democrats that don't have the best chance of beating Donald Trump. And none of those names are Joe Biden after his debate performance. We'll talk about that and more with Missouri State Rep Justin Sparks next on Colombo and Katie.
Better days. 1 foot in the hole, 1 foot getting deeper. Crank it to 11, blow another speaker and
You're listening to Colombo and Katie. Follow us on Rumble at News Talk STL. Whether at home or at work, you're mobile. So when you're mobile, stay mobile. Keep St. Louis's home for conservative talk with you wherever you go. Download the News Talk STL app in the App Store or at newstalkstl.com.
If you have an electrical issue or an electrical project at your home or business, the best team to call is the team at Grasser Electric because they specialize in all electrical needs, ranging from large-scale commercial projects all the way down to simple home service needs like replacing a bad light switch. We have had Grasser in our home multiple times. We sort of discovered Grasser when we moved into our new house a couple years ago, and we've had them out for various things, and they have always just been absolutely the best. The techs at Grasser are super professional. They leave the area cleaner than they found it. They are in and out so quickly. It's just the customer service is absolutely top notch with the techs at Grasser Electric. And again, if you are looking for a big project on your books, you can take advantage of their free quotes. Have them come out, take a look, tell you exactly what's going on, tell you exactly your options to go about taking care of your need or your project. And you are armed with all of that information, and it hasn't cost you a dime. And then you can make the best decision moving forward for your home or for your business or for your budget. Plus, Grasser Electric never wants anybody to be left in the dark. They also offer 24-hour emergency services. So basically, across the board, all of your electrical needs can be taken care of by the team at Grasser Electric. Call them now at 636-441-5200 or just go to the website grasserelectric.com.
News Talk STL is proud to have Doug Voss of Safe Money Radio as part of our lineup each week. Doug has been a staple on St. Louis radio for many years as one of the leading financial experts in the area. Doug and Safe Money Radio is on 3 times every weekend, but in case you miss anything, you can check it all out at DougVossSafeMoneyRadio.com or call 844-676-SAFE. That's 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through DHL Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
The Vic Porcelli Show.
I was at the Trump rally Saturday night. He won't give one dime to any school districts that have any kind of vaccine mandate. It would be great to have polio and measles all come back.
I don't believe you went to that rally. Obviously, I'm catching your snark, and you are not a Trump supporter. You're not even a listener to this radio station, so thanks for calling, Lester. I mean, that's not your real name either.
Vic Porcelli, live and local, weekday mornings at 9 on News Talk STL.
Looking for a way to support our nation's heroes? Vet Jobs has been helping military veterans, service members, and their spouses find employment for over 20 years. Join them at the ballpark on Sunday, July 28th, as the Cards take on the Washington Nationals for the Salute the Services game. A portion of every ticket sold through Vet Jobs will go towards their mission of securing jobs for our brave veterans. Make a difference in the lives of those who have served our country. Learn more and get tickets at newstalkstl.com/vetjobs.
Summertime is here, and that means there are summer to-do lists and summer projects that need to be done around the house. If you are looking for flooring, if you think you need an update because your carpet is old or your hardwood looks worn out, my suggestion is to go to Michael's Flooring Outlet, igotfloored.com. Michael's Flooring Outlet has experts that will help you pick out that right hardwood or laminate or vinyl or carpet that fits your household and your needs. Maybe you need something low maintenance. Maybe you need something that won't show the pet hair. Michael's Flooring Outlet will help you make the right decision, and then those experts will have the installation done quickly and efficiently and right the first time. Visit them at one of their 3 locations in Dardine Prairie, St. Peter's, or Grave Corps. Or if you don't have time to go visit one of those places, shop in-home. Check out everything that Michaels has to offer at igotfloored.com. That's igotfloored.com.
This hour of Colombo and Katie brought to you by Gutter Pros. Water goes where we tell it. Call 314-656-7195 or visit them at gutterpros.com.
Hey, it's Vic and Ken, and we just wanted to take a few seconds to say goodbye, and we love you, to the lovable Katie Fitzpatrick.
That's right, Vic. And Katie was the person we would always go to after a show and say, give us some good feelings. She's always been that light,
She helped us every second.
Every time.
Every second she could. So, Katie, we love you. We'll miss you. Good luck. Buona fortuna. Cent'anni.
I won't say that, but I will say I love you, Katie, and the best to you and your growing family.
Ow, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy.
I told you it was going to get tougher as the show went on.
It's tough.
Welcome back to Colombo and Katie. Katie's last show with us today as we get ready to head into the 4th of July holiday. My first day back after my emotional family vacation where my daughter turned 21 and got engaged to be married. So there's a whole lot going on in this studio today. But we are so thankful that you are with us here on Colombo and Katie on 119.94.1 News Talk STL. Since tomorrow is the 4th of July holiday, Justin Sparks, Missouri State Representative, who usually is with us on Thursdays, is bumping up a day to this Wednesday, the 3rd, so we can still talk to him this week. Justin, appreciate you moving with the schedule to talk to us this week.
Well, I just had to bump up one day because there's absolutely no way that I could miss Katie's last day.
Yes.
Thank you, Justin.
Katie is way, way more important than I ever will be. And I am so proud of the work that you've done on the show.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
you're
you.
amazing.
Yep, she will be missed, and she's still going to be, we're still working it out, but a regular, we're going to talk to you on a regular basis.
Yeah, absolutely.
Monthly or something like that.
I'm going somewhere, but I'm still going to be here because
Yeah.
I can't really let go.
Yeah, and not going, and leaving, not going anywhere else in the media. So it's not
No.
like we can't talk to her and all that stuff. So yeah,
Good.
so it's just not going to be the same, but she'll still be around. All right, Justin, I want to ask you first about, I do want to get your thoughts on what's happening in Washington, D.C. and after the debate and all of that. But we're just talking to Rodney Boyd about the situation here in the state of Missouri. Not only do we have all of these major elections happening, a lot of which are going to be decided in the August primary, not the November general, but then we have this situation with the Missouri delegates being rejected by the RNC. Roddy's kind of like me, just got off of vacation, is still trying to catch up on all the details. I know Tim Jones is going to be able to fill us in on some of that information a little bit later on this afternoon. But from your standpoint, what can you give us your understanding of this situation with the presidential delegates from our state being rejected by the RNC?
Yeah, well, apparently how it went down was there was a group basically in our state, which this is all a good thing too, by the way, which is grassroots people waking up to what's going on in our state. We've had these conversations multiple times. And now, when you wake up, it's like, well, what in the world's going on? Well, you're part of the establishment or you're part of the problem, and accusations fly, and people, it's kind of a messy transition of power is how I would describe it. Because when people really start to realize, okay, what's really been happening and how do we fix it? How do I get involved? That's all good, but it can be messy. And what essentially happened was there was kind of that push and pull, tension of power. And the group that was really running it, the credentialing apparently was not in order. And so a couple of delegates, as I understand it, made a complaint because they were like the credentialing was not done properly. And those complaints were sustained, which in that case, the RNC essentially had a decision to make, which they're letting the person that runs the RNC in Missouri basically seat new delegates, as I understand it. So he'll have it will be his decision and how this process plays out. And what I'm hoping for is that there'll be some kind of compromise and that everybody will have a seat at the table. There's been a lot of people that have already bought tickets and got off work and everything else to go to the convention. So I hope that they will, still get to be involved in the process. And I think that better, that cooler heads will prevail and everybody will be able to come together. That's typically how things should work. And by the way, we should hold ourselves to that standard as Republicans.
So Katie mentioned this to Rodney a moment ago, and I think it's a concern not only for the state of Missouri, but I think it's a concern for conservative voters and Republican voters all across the country. Are you at all worried about both here locally and nationally with this year, with especially what we just saw out of Joe Biden? The Democrats have never been weaker, in my opinion. There's never been a bigger opportunity, and that goes for nationally, and I say also here in the state of Missouri. I mean, the supermajority is real, at least from the voters' standpoint. The voters of Missouri have spoken. They want a strong conservative leadership and strong conservative decisions and laws and all of that coming out of Jeff City, and they haven't gotten that in recent years. Is there any concern that you have that Republicans, both locally and nationally, are squandering an opportunity to really take advantage in the proverbial red wave when the Democrats are, in my opinion at least, more divided and weaker than we've ever seen?
Yeah, what a great point. You're exactly right in the fact that when I'm knocking on doors, people are really falling back on, they look at me and they're like, hey, we want this, and this in Missouri. In fact, I heard it twice yesterday, specifically about the state of California, because there was a couple folks, one couple, physician and her husband, they have children that live in California because of their employment, and another house, the guy used to live in California and now lives in Missouri and is never going back. And so what they very much ardently feel is they don't want California in Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
They do not want California coming to Missouri. And I understand that, right? Of course you don't want California to come to Missouri, even though sometimes some parts of our inner cities look like California. And because of some of the same policies from California are here in Missouri, and there are very powerful special interests that would very much like those policies to be in Missouri, and they work for that every day. And we can never forget that. And so what our job really is to do is to remind leadership that who they actually serve, the people of Missouri, and what they want, because what they want actually matters. And that's what I hear from the doors every day.
Justin, we only have about a minute left. Just quickly, your gut feeling, just as a voter, as an American citizen, after you saw what you saw on the debate stage last week and then in the fallout since, do you think that the Democrats ultimately make a switch at the ticket and it's not Joe Biden on the ballot in November?
Well, Tony, you know that I've been saying that for a long time. I tweeted out, I said the odds of Donald Trump and Joe Biden facing each other in November are less than 50%. And after that debate, I think that those percentages are even stronger. And by the way, I'll give props to you. I think this was one of our early conversations, maybe even 6 months ago, when, there's only one person that beats Donald Trump, according to a Reuters poll today.
Yeah.
There's only one person, and it's Michelle Obama.
Michelle Obama.
I'm just saying, guys, I know people are like, no way, she doesn't want it. I think that's all a bunch of hooey. I think she wants it more than anything in the world.
I was one of those people that was out on it. And then I said, you run for office for power and money, and they have all the power and they have all the money, so they don't need it. But then I was kind of in on it because there were reports that Barack was pushing for it, and then I was out again, and now I think I'm back in again. I've flip-flopped on the Michelle Obama issue multiple times, but it is amazing to see. This poll came out. It said Gavin Newsom doesn't beat Trump, Kamala Harris doesn't beat Trump, Biden doesn't beat Trump. The only one that does is Michelle Obama. Pretty amazing.
I think they're gonna go push with Kamala because she has connections with the money. The money stays in in with Kamala Harris. I think they're going to go all in on her, and they're just going to try to do a better job than they did with Joe Biden. Just make sure that those teleprompters have really small words for her. That's all I'm
Yep.
Or a lot of space for all the word salad that she's going to say. Justin Sparks, really appreciate you adjusting the schedule and joining us today. We will talk to you again next week, my friend. Have a great holiday.
Happy 4th of July, guys.
Yeah,
Thanks, Justin.
Thanks. Great stuff there. And we will have a little fun in the next segment and open up closest cabinet on Colombo and Katie.
Liberal mega donors are always looking for new rhinos to do their bidding. And with Adam Schnelting, they found their new star. Adam Schnelting has already backed their radical plan to defund our police. And he skipped countless important conservative votes. Skipped a vote to protect kids from sexually explicit materials in school. And skipped a vote to protect churches from junk lawsuits. It's no wonder Adam Schnelting is bankrolled by Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, and Joe Biden's top funders. Bill Cristofanelli is the only leader we can trust to protect our conservative priorities. When radicals tried to defund the police, Bill Cristofanelli passed record funding from Missouri's law enforcement. When Joe Biden left our southern border wide open, conservative Bill Cristofanelli banned sanctuary cities and voted to send Missouri National Guard troops to secure the border. Vote Bill Cristofanelli, the proven conservative, for state senate.
Gladius PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising, paid for by Gladius PAC, and is not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
I'm Dr. TJ, owner of the Institute of Natural Health, co-owner of Optimal Nutraceuticals, and the host of Wellness 101. Wellness 101 is designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you common sense, science-based information regarding health and wellness. On the show, we discuss topics like thyroid health, gut health, hormone optimization, and many others. Our show airs Saturdays at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. right here on News Talk STL. For more information, visit us at inhstl.com. That's inhstl.com.
When it's important to you,
I have it on all day at work.
it's on News Talk STL.
Allegedly, they're going to be unbiased tonight.
The only person on the stage is a convicted felon is the man I'm looking at right now.
But when he talks about a convicted felon, his son is a convicted felon.
News, analysis, opinion.
Oh, he finally beat Medicare.
He's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death, and he's destroying Medicare.
Number one for live and local conservative talk.
My retribution is going to be a success.
1019 and 94.1. News Talk STL. KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at newstalkstl.com.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. Are you traveling during the July 4th holiday? If so, you'll have a lot of company.
AAA is forecasting a record July 4th travel period. Although with nearly 90 million people under heat alerts, it might be a good idea to watch the fireworks from a boat or on TV with a bowl of ice cream in hand. The Motor Club projects 70.9 million U.S. travelers are heading 50 miles or more to enjoy Independence Day festivities this week. That's a 5% increase over last year and over 5.5 million more than before the pandemic. About 60.6 million are going by car, with the worst traffic on Wednesday and Sunday. GasBuddy.com is reporting the national average for a gallon of gas on the 4th is expected to be around $3.49. I'm Jennifer King.
Also at townhall.com, Democratic Senator Sheldon Whitehouse of Rhode Island was asked what are the conversations top Democrats are having after President Biden's debate performance.
Well, I think people want to make sure that this is a campaign that's ready to go and win, that the president and his team are being candid with us about his condition, that this was a real anomaly and not just the way he is these days, and that, they've got a plan to win.
White House spoke to WPRI. Biden is signaling he has no intention of dropping out of the race, despite the halting and uneven debate delivery that threw a spotlight on questions about his age and capacity to be president. Federal Reserve officials at their most recent meeting welcomed recent signs that inflation is slowing and highlighted data suggesting the job market and the broader economy could be cooling. Both trends, if they continue, could lead the Fed to cut its benchmark interest rate in the coming months from its 23-year peak. On Wall Street, stocks finished mixed. The Dow was down 23 points, but the NASDAQ gained 159. More at townhall.com.
You just grin and bear it or bite the bullet when it comes to everyday pain? Don't. Try Relief Factor, a drug-free daily supplement that helps your body fight pain naturally. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain, it helps reduce or even eliminate it. It's 100% drug-free. It's developed by doctors. In 3 weeks or less, you'll know whether it works for you like it works for me. Try Relief Factor for yourself. Go to relieffactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF and save on your first order. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
Nowadays, $20 barely gets you a burger and fries, or maybe a quarter tank of gas. You know what it will get you, though? For just $20 a month, you can get unlimited talk, text, and plenty of 5G data from Pure Talk. You get the same 5G network as one of the legacy providers, but at half the price with Pure Talk. Plus, dial pound 250 and say keyword spend less to save an additional 50% off your first month. Make the switch today so you can actually afford that burger and fries. Dial pound 250 and...
From the Michael's Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. Active weather pattern continues. There is a chance for a strong thunderstorm or two this evening, especially south of St. Louis, but we'll have to monitor it even in the metro. Overnight, another round of showers and storms, maybe some heavy rain, so watch for some flooding early in the morning, a low of 73. 88 in the afternoon, and a chance for some strong to severe storms in the evening. You want to make sure to have a plan if you're seeing fireworks to head to shelter if it's a strong to severe storm or even just some thunder and lightning nearby. Those storms are going to move out by Friday. Mostly sunny, 86 for the high on Friday. That's the latest from the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton.
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Rodney and Jen Wallner and the entire Wallner home selling team at Berkshire Hathaway. Call them today at 314-810-SOLD. 314-810-SOLD.
Fox News commentary.
Outdoor brand Patagonia is dropping the hammer on remote work. I'm Tommy Lahren. More next.
If you had $1 million in 2009, today it would be worth less than $700,000. Thank you, big government. Hedge against runaway inflation with gold from Birch Gold Group. Birch Gold will help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in physical gold. I trust Birch Gold, and you can too.
Text the word SHELTER to the number 989898 and get a free, no-obligation info kit on gold. Text SHELTER to 989898 today.
We are a good 3 years out of the COVID era, so it's beyond time to get back to reality. Apparently, the outdoor brand Patagonia agrees. In a notice to 90 of their customer service employees, the company has issued an ultimatum. Move within 60 miles of one of the 7 company hubs or you're out the door. Patagonia has hubs in Atlanta, Austin, Chicago, Dallas, Pittsburgh, Reno, and Salt Lake City. Most of the employees who make up the 250-member customer service team already live near the Reno hub, but the holdouts will have to either relocate or they could face unemployment. Patagonia will be flexible with employees who need more time to relocate, but the deadline to agree to moving is September 30th. I personally don't think it's an unreasonable ask at all. It's not the pandemic anymore, folks. It's time to get back to the office, and Patagonia isn't even mandating that. Just live within 60 miles. Not too much to ask. I'm Tommy Lahren, and you can watch my show, Tommy Lahren is Fearless, at Outkick.com.
So many ways to listen to News Talk STL. Enable our Alexa skill.
Hello.
Hey, Alexa.
Yes, I'm listening.
Play News Talk STL.
Welcome to News Talk STL, conservative talk radio for St. Louis.
There's something happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there, telling me I got to beware. I think it's time we stop, children. What's that sound? Everybody look what's going down.
Hey Katie, it's Gabe. Of course, we're going to miss your varied skills, your incredible talent, and your unique perspective. But most of all, I think even more so, we'll miss your contagious joy and eternal positivity. You're a great big ball of sunshine, so things are going to be a little dimmer around here, but we're so excited to see where your future takes you. It's not quite goodbye, so I'll just say, God bless.
I don't know. It's mixed emotions right now. I have mixed emotions.
I know. Katie's last show with us today, although she will be visiting from time to time. She's leaving media completely and has a great opportunity for her and her family. We're going to say our goodbyes at the end of the show here in just a little bit, but we have had various little tributes to Katie throughout the show today.
And they've been beautiful.
Welcome back to Colombo and Katie. Colombo and Katie for now. Colombo and question mark.
Yeah, that's what I keep calling it. Colombo and question mark.
I have to call it in the next few weeks as we figure out exactly what we're going to do here. But we already have a plan in place, and it's going to be, with every change comes opportunity. It's going to. So we're going to be all right. And Katie's still going to be a part of our future, checking in from time to time, hopefully every month or so. So, yeah. All right. I don't want to get into the goodbyes now. It's time to open up Closest Cabinet as we do each and every Wednesday, brought to you by Weber Chevrolet, which means Mark Close from KC95 is with us. Marker, are you there?
I'm here.
And Skip Weber from Weber Chevrolet. Skip, hello.
Hello, I'm here also.
All right. Fantastic. And yeah, we a lot going on. The Colombo family had a big weekend. My daughter turned 21 and got proposed to.
Amazing.
We were all down there in Florida. I get back here just in time for one last show with Katie, and then we head into the 4th of July weekend. So, man, there is a whole lot going on here. But, boys, I want to talk about this first. We saw the debate and all the madness with that, but forget about the presidential election. The Nathan's hot dog eating contest tomorrow on the 4th of July is in shambles because there's no Joey Chestnut. Mark, we talk about the hot dog eating contest every year. I get it from like a human curiosity standpoint, but I cannot sit there and watch this. It is unbelievable to me the thousands of people that show up in New York and then also watch on television to watch people dunk their hot dog buns in water. And
it can't be wet hot dog.
It's wet.
You know, but wait, before you answer, Mark, I went to a float trip when I was, sorry, allergies.
Easy, allergies, they're still here.
Whenever I was younger, and it was so ratchet and just horrible. And anyway, we ate hot dogs because we were so wasted. We ate hot dogs. We didn't grill them on the grill or on the open fire. We took the hot dogs that were in the cooler of water that was just sitting there, opened them up, ripped them up, dunked them in queso cheese.
Oh no.
And that's how we ate the hot dogs that night. And that's all I think about when I look at Nene's hot dogs trying to get eaten. I'm like, it brings me back to a time that I could have had food poisoning. Anyway, Mark, your thoughts?
Yeah, how do you follow that, Mark? Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks a lot for that setup. Well, and of course, Joey's not going to be there because he's got a sponsorship from a plant-based food company.
Yeah, the Impossible people. Yeah.
I think he's a sellout.
I just don't know why. I mean, I'm sure they came at him with a good chunk of change and said, hey, do it. I don't even know. What do you get for winning the Nathan's hot dog eating contest?
$20,000
on the 4th.
$20,000. $20,000. Yep.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you do that once a year, which they do, you can't live on that. I'm sure he does other appearances, but if this other company came to him and said, hey, we're going to throw you $100,000 to endorse some, it's not hot dogs. Hell, I'd do it too. You got to pay the bills. So,
but Mark, don't you think he's a sellout though? He's made his career off beef hot dogs.
Yeah. Unless he's come out and said, I'll never eat another beef hot dog, then I would say he's a sellout. But if somebody came to me and said, hey, I've been playing rock and roll, and if Celine Dion came to me with a couple $1 million to endorse her, hello, Celine. So.
According to the internet, he makes about $500,000 a year, and he has a net worth. And he has a net worth of $3 million. So, Skip, I don't know, not bad for somebody who eats hot dogs for a living. But
well,
yeah,
I'm going to clear a couple things up here.
Please
right
do.
Now. Let's clear a couple things up. First of all, we used to be enormous fans of the contest.
Okay.
It was part of our tradition. In later years, I've been involved with the parade downtown, so I haven't been able to watch it as much. But we used to. It was, back before he was the king, they had a guy named
Kobayashi.
Kobayashi. That was the champion. Joey Chestnut is a competitive eater. it's not just
Right.
hot dogs. He has records eating bratwurst, eating pizza, eating Crystal's burgers, which
chicken
is like
wings,
White
and
Castle.
yeah.
Drinking milk. I mean, he's all these. That's where he gets a lot. He wins a lot of that. Matzo balls, Swedish meatballs, all that kind of stuff. So it's not just hot dogs. So he'll probably still be in some of those. But he's won it so many times in a row. I'm glad he's not in it. I kind of still follow who wins just because it's so fun to watch. And it's not wet hot dogs. They dunk the buns. They don't eat the hot dog in the bun. They eat them separately.
Right.
But you have to eat them both. They dunk the buns so they're easier to eat.
Yeah.
They're more compact. So it's not. I mean, they're not doing it for taste. I think it's a hilarious, fun.
Oh,
deal.
it's a spectacle of the human anatomy, no doubt
Are
about
they
it.
chewing the hot dog down, Skip?
Not really.
Or is it just gullet down the gullet?
A little bit of
slip.
both. I think they chew. I think they mash it up a little bit, but that's the thing is there's several things about it. You have to have the metabolism that can take it. Some of these people are like your size, Katie. There's some ladies there that are tiny people that eat a million.
Most of the
shrimp or
champions,
something like that in one. I mean, it's unreal. But you have to have the metabolism, and secondly, you have to do like you just said. You have to be able to just shove food in without a lot of chewing, or it'll just be too slow. So I don't know. I think it's fun, man. I'm looking forward to seeing.
It's like Katie. It's like Katie leaving the show. It's bad. It hurts the sport a little bit, but it opens up. It makes an opportunity to create a new star.
I'm Joey Chestnut.
There's an opportunity to create a new superstar. And Skip, you'll be happy to know if you haven't seen this yet, because of the situation with Joey Chestnut and not being there because of his sponsorship with Impossible Foods. He and Kobayashi are shooting a special for Netflix that's going to air on Labor Day, a one-on-one Kobayashi, because Kobayashi, for whatever reason, hasn't been in. There's been drama with him. I can't remember it off the top of my head why he hasn't been in the contest for several years. So there's going to be a Labor Day Netflix special, Kobayashi and Joey Chestnut one-on-one hot dog eating contest to determine who the greatest of all time is.
So I would watch that because it's on Labor Day.
Oh, I'll watch it too.
July. I will be available. The only thing is, I can tell you right now, it'll be no contest.
Joey
Chestnut will wipe the floor with Kobayashi.
Oh,
That's
wow.
the thing. Kobayashi was the champion. Joey Chestnut dethroned him.
Yeah.
And every year he breaks his own record.
Wow.
I think he's won like 15 or 16 years in a row. And before that, Kobayashi had won 4 or 5 years in a row.
Right.
Or maybe even a little bit more than that. So I don't think that Kobayashi's gotten better. I mean, it seems like Joey Chestnut gets stronger with it. Act like I'm a man crush on him. I don't really know much more about it except for the fact that we used to always watch this thing.
Yeah.
So I just, oh man, but I'll watch that. I will definitely watch it.
Oh, I will
love
too.
To be close.
I will too.
I think it's fun, man. It gets down to like the last minute, and you're looking at that ticker. I think it's great.
Mark, the all-time record. Do you know what the all-time record is, Mark? Do you know what Joey Chestnut's record is? 10 minutes. How many hot dogs? 10 minutes.
Is it like 65 in 10 minutes or something?
76.
Yeah.
In 10 minutes?
76 in 10 minutes.
How does your stomach
is
even
his record?
hold
And like
that?
Skip said, he'd set the record in 2021, but he's always he seems to be not slowing down. He's always in the 60s, upper 60s. He's not.
How can you walk?
He's not losing it at all. Yeah. 76 hot dogs.
Yeah, I could not. If
10
you
minutes.
asked me to eat hot dogs continually for 10 minutes, I couldn't do it.
No.
It wouldn't matter if it's only like 7 or 8 hot. I could eat a lot. I'm a big guy. I could eat a lot. But if I ate continuously hot dogs without stopping, you have to keep going for 10 minutes. I mean, I could never eat that, but I don't know how many I'd get to, but I have to stop and say, I don't want to eat anymore. I've had 7, 8, 9 hot dogs. That's enough, whatever it would be. I couldn't do it. So like I said, it fascinates me. I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah, well, it's definitely the human, like I said, a spectacle of the human anatomy. I just, after a certain amount of time, I can't. The hot dog's going in the cups of water. The bun's going in the cups of water. You know, you can only watch that for so many minutes.
Yeah.
But the one-on-one Chestnut versus Kobayashi, I can't wait for that. I will definitely be watching that. Staying on the topic of hot dogs here, a survey has been done to determine what America thinks is the perfect hot dog. And the perfect hot dog, according to this survey, contains some combination of only these toppings: mustard, which is the number one topping; ketchup, which is shocking to me, at number two; onions, relish, and chili. So it's got to have one or some combination of that group on there: mustard, ketchup, onions, relish, or chili. It also has to be grilled and has to come on a white bun, not a wheat bun. Mark, any issues with the idea of the perfect hot dog?
You know what? It's funny. My daughter loves her hot dogs with ketchup, and you talk about a divider of men and women.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you go to a ballpark and start putting ketchup on a hot dog, they'll come after you. Yeah. It's going to end up in a fight. I'm with you. I've never heard of a whole wheat hot dog bun to begin with, but I'm like, white, wonder hot dog bun, hot dog, mustard. I'm a happy camper.
Yeah. You're just so Mark, but you're not saying ketchup and mustard, right? You're just saying ketchup.
No, I'm talking about people that my daughter puts nothing but ketchup on a hot dog.
But if you saw someone at the ballpark doing ketchup and mustard, you wouldn't give it a thought.
Oh no, I'd slug them.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. The combo is so good.
No.
The combo
that's
is
how my wife
so
eats it.
good.
No,
ketchup. My wife has ketchup in. My wife puts ketchup, mustard, and relish on her hot dog.
Yeah, that's my kind of lady.
And I'm with Beaner. I'm with Beaner close. Ketchup only. That's me.
Oh, no kidding. Wow.
Yeah. I would sooner eat ketchup and no bun than have only mustard on my hot dog.
Oh, we got a
the
mustard
wing and
hater?
cut it up and just have like Frank's and just swirl them in ketchup. I'd love it.
What about relish? Are y'all relish people?
Not me.
No.
Oh.
I would rather have a pickle spear on the side.
There you go. Finally, something I can agree with you on. Top five sides, according to this survey: French fries, which for whatever reason, French fries do not jive with hot dogs with me. Like, no, like I don't know. I don't know what that is. I don't like French fries with hot dogs.
That's the kind of thinking that leads you to being a mustard guy.
That's right, Skip.
That's the beginning of the dark path. Potato salad and potato chips. Those are the top sides. French fries, potato salad, potato chips. I agree with potato chips. That's the number one thing for me to go.
Potato salad.
No, potato chips.
Yeah.
Just regular old potato chips, hot dog with mustard on it. We're done. That's my perfect hot dog. What's your favorite side, Skip?
I think fries probably, but I like all those. If it's a good picnic and you're grilling on a picnic, I think potato salad, especially if it's made with red potatoes.
Oh yeah.
Those red potatoes, potato salad could be pretty good. The problem with that is it no longer is fingers and hands only. That becomes a little bit more. Now you got to find a fork. If it's a picnic, it's probably one of those plastic forks that the things break off while you're trying to.
Right.
So that's the negative about the potato salad. Hot dogs and chips and hot dogs and fries is no silverware needed.
Good
Great
point.
meal.
If you got your ketchup on your hot dog, I guess you can just dip your fries in your hot dog and you'd be all right.
Yeah,
Those fries on top of the hot dog.
You could just make a giant pool of ketchup and just dip the hot dog or the fries in it. Either one, just alternate. It'd be great.
Mark, you got any thoughts on this madness?
We a lot of times if we're having like a barbecue, we'll have hot dogs and beans, like pork and beans on the side.
Oh, yum.
Yeah.
But then, like Skip said, you got to find a fork.
Yeah. But see, that's our traditional Halloween meal. My wife and I have had chili dogs and baked beans for Halloween for 20 plus years as we're waiting for trick-or-treaters. That's we just cook those and just eat chili dogs all night as trick or treaters come by. It's a great Halloween meal.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens tomorrow in the hot dog eating contest. Maybe a new superstar will be born, but I don't think there's any chance of anybody getting close to Joey Chestnut's record. This is this is like the Misha Tate opportunity. Like Ronda Rousey was like the number one female MMA fighter, for so long that Misha Tate she finally got a championship, I think, after Ronda was finally gone, but it was like just never had a chance to stand in the spotlight. Maybe somebody will now be able to stand in the spotlight because Ronda Rousey will be gone. Skip, before we go, as we go into the 4th of July holiday, we're kicking off the month of July, which is just unbelievable how fast this year is flying by. What is the latest at Weber Chevrolet?
So I've got a little bit of a long one, if you don't mind, but this one. I just want to I need to shout out to my people because we had a massive cyber attack hit big auto dealer vendor. Okay, 15,000 dealers were impacted by this. Nobody's personal data was breached. It was more of I believe, a ransomware thing. But our computers were down at 2 of my stores from the 18th of June on. And I'm telling you, I don't think any of our customers noticed it. It was unbelievable, Herculean effort by my people. And now that it's back up, they're doing double work because I got to re-enter all the stuff we did by hand. It's just great, and I love it that they. I mean, it's exactly why we have the highest reputation score in a many 100 miles radius of all Chevy dealers, because my people rise to the occasion and they make sure the customer comes first in all things. And like I said, people couldn't tell. We kept delivering cars. We kept working on cars. It was seamless, even though it was a pain to them personally. It was wonderful. Wonderful. So July is going to be awesome because the incentives just keep rolling. I think I said a couple weeks ago or last week that we had more vehicles coming in June than we've had since COVID in a month. And so and it's continuing on that way. So our selection's getting better, but we're still selling a great deal of those. We're not really getting our lots too much more in because we're just selling them so quick because our prices resonate with people and things are going so well with with the Trax and with the Silverado. It's really awesome. But I'd also like to personally thank Katie for all the years when she partnered with you, Tony, because frankly, I knew you pretty well and Mark, and I really wasn't probably going to come on the show if it wasn't for Katie there.
Thank you, Skip. Thank you.
I think I'll probably stay when she leaves. It really kind of aggravates me that this whole show revolves around her leaving, because I really wanted to talk about the bumper music coming in with that Buffalo Springfield song. But we didn't get a chance.
We didn't even get a chance. You're right.
How much we love her.
Thank you, Skip.
So,
yeah, you're so right. And we are. Yeah, she will definitely be missed. And we're going to say our goodbyes here in just a minute. But Skip, before I let you go, I do want to make sure, just to be clear, last week I sent a paid in full electronic payment for my Colorado. So I'm going to just make sure that your people got that and it didn't get lost in the deal, and just make sure you just check that box and we got that all covered. Just so you know.
Unfortunately, we don't receive your payments.
Oh yeah, that's right. It wasn't with the loan people, was it?
So until they get breached, I can't help you.
And Marker, we made the announcement last week. The event that was going to be on July 20th has unfortunately been canceled. Folks that had their tickets can get their refund. Is there any other information that we need to let folks know about before we wrap this up?
No, I'm the same way with Katie. I don't know what took her so long to drop you like a bad habit, but I'm happy for her. And
thank you, Mark.
Moving on, and she's a sweetie. Maybe the only two people on earth that are nicer than her are her mom and dad, who could not be nicer people. I've had the pleasure of meeting them a couple of different times, and they're both sweethearts, and they raised a great kid. So
thank you, Mark.
Good luck to you, young lady, and don't forget about us. We'll still be around.
Thank you both so much. Thank you, guys. I treasure you both as people and as friends. Thank you guys so much for those kind words.
Yeah, awesome stuff. Mark and Skip, thanks as always, and we'll talk to you guys next week. Have a great holiday, boys.
See you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
That is Mark Close from KC95, Skip Weber from Weber Chevrolet, and yeah, sorry, blew right past the
This is the jam.
the theme song picked out by Stell Ponticus, who picks out the theme every week.
This is
a good one.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is a good one.
Yeah.
Reminds me of a country western.
Okay. Well,
It does. Just some, hey, bird, oh, what's that sound?
we'll leave it at that.
Okay.
All right. One more to go here. There's some possible weather that may affect the 4th of July. I have the latest forecast from Channel 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. We're going to get you updated on that and wrap up this week. Get ready for the holidays and say our goodbyes to Katie. Goodbye for now to Katie. All that next on Colombo and Katie.
If everybody's wrong.
Stream Colombo and Katie at newstalkstl.com.
Getting so much resistance from behind.
Look, I'm very young, energetic, and handsome. What the hell am I doing this for?
St. Louis's new choice for conservative talk. Live and local.
I need to know what's going on in my city.
News Talk STL.
John Beal knows it right after a hailstorm. New roofing companies start popping up everywhere. But the Small Business Administration reports 96% of them go out of business within the first 5 years. So how good is that warranty? John Beal started in the roofing business, helping his granddad and his dad. Always offering the best roof, best price, best guarantee. John Beal Roofing, not some fly-by-the-night operation. Call my friend John, 1-800-NEW-ROOF, 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
This is Larry Connor's commentary on News Talk STL.
Monday's Supreme Court 6-3 ruling shielding President Trump or any president from prosecution of any official acts. Well, that was like a nuke fired at the liberals, and they are shouting back with various and loud voices. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer slamming the Supreme Court as being disgraceful and stating, now you enable the president to weaken our democracy by breaking the law. It's a sad day for America, a sad day for our democracy. Nancy Pelosi says the Supreme Court has gone rogue with this decision, an insult to our founders who declared independence from a king. Yeah, they've got their minds made up already, don't they? And then you've got Congresswoman AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She's announcing she will soon file impeachment articles against at least one justice on the Supreme Court. She hasn't named which one. CNN political commentator Van Jones said the Supreme Court gave Trump a license to thug. Now, based on his comments, I have a question. When Biden weaponized the FBI, the DOJ, the IRS against American citizens and political opponents, was that an act of a president or a thug?
Get more Larry Connors on Larry Connors USA.
Tonight at 6 on News Talk STL.
You want to give someone something which they will really enjoy? Give them a Cafe Napoli gift card. You pick the amount, and they pick which of the Cafe Napolis they want to visit. Cafe Napoli in Clayton, Cafe Napoli in Town and Country, Napoli 3 on the streets of St. Charles, or right next door, Napoli C. The Napoli gift card. It's the perfect gift for anyone, or your entire office. Cafe Napoli. Cafe Napoli.
Larry Connors USA.
Hunter Biden and his artwork.
Excuse me, Hunter. Apparently you're afraid of my words. What a coward.
The art gallerist apparently claimed that one of Hunter's financial backers purchased most of his paintings for $875,000. What's this? Oh, it's a scribble, but really it's a man walking into his future and seeing his past at the same time.
You are the epitome of white privilege.
They were laundering money, and he had all of his friends coming forward to help him out.
Larry Connors, weeknights at 6 on News Talk STL.
Have you seen the 2024 Toyota RAV4? Boy, that's an outstanding vehicle, and Ackerman Toyota has one just for you at the best price. Ackerman is the #1 volume Toyota dealer in the area. Want a Camry? Maybe you want something bigger. A Toyota crossover. All the performance of an SUV, but a more compact size. Ackerman Toyota at Hampton and 44. AckermanToyota.com. Ackerman Toyota for life.
On the next
Larry Connors USA.
Special guest host today, Susie Moore, Deputy Managing Editor of Red State. Listen for Susie.
Larry Connors USA.
Now, weeknights 6 until 8.
On News Talk STL.
Hey, everybody, it's Mike, and I cannot believe this day is here. You know, when we started this radio station, man, 3 years ago now, it was a new start for, conservative talk in St. Louis. In a way, it was kind of a new thing for St. Louis, but we were not new to each other. I mean, you've heard us talk about it, but we've all worked together and known each other for years, which is why we've built something really special here at News Talk. And let me tell you something, the heart and soul of what we have built is because of you, Katie. I mean, you were the one who just kind of has been the glue to hold us together, not just because you're so good at what you do professionally, but just because you've always been solution oriented. And when we get frustrated because I can't get in that studio, or this computer isn't working, or whatever the things are that happen throughout the course of a normal day in a very abnormal business, you know what? You're just kind of that steadying factor that we know it's going to get figured out. And you brought so much, not just to this business, but to the News Talk family that we've got on this side of the microphone. And your work here has been just absolutely crucial to making this a success. So, everybody here adores you, and we can't wait to see what happens for you in your career moving forward. And you'd better not be a stranger. You better bring Maeve around and let us keep tabs on her as well. So, Katie, thank you for everything you've done for us, and best of luck to you as you go on to your new adventure. All right, we'll talk to you soon. Behave yourself. No, don't. Really don't. Have fun. It's been fantastic working with you, and we'll see you soon.
That is so sweet.
Yes.
That is so nice. Wow.
It's been an outpouring of support, as this is Katie's last show with us. When we get back from the 4th of July holiday, I don't even know what the show is going to be called. Colombo in question mark for a while, I think.
I love that.
As we figure things out. But yeah, I want to give you a chance to say something in a second here, Katie, and I want to say something before we go. I want to update folks because this I think is important. We just got Steve Templeton from Channel 4, chief meteorologist over there, sent us the forecast for tomorrow, and we need to keep people up to speed on what's happening out there. And just for your plans tomorrow, he says in the early morning hours, there's a chance of thunderstorms with heavy rainfall, inch plus possible. There's also a low risk that some of those storms could be severe. Forecast models disagree on how much rain will fall, but we will see the potential for some heavy downpours, mainly before 8 a.m. that could cause ponding and perhaps some flooding. The latest models are actually a little encouraging for the parade, showing much of the rain moving out by 8 or 9 a.m. Let's not bank on a completely dry parade just yet, but it's nice to see that the trend in the latest models are heading that way. Later on the 4th, we will see the late afternoon. We'll have to watch the late afternoon and evening for new storm developments. So just keep an eye on the Channel 4 weather app or the KMOV website for all the latest weather. And thanks to Steve Templeton for sending that over to keep everybody up to speed on what to plan for in the forecast as far as the weather is concerned tomorrow. If you haven't heard, we've been talking about it. We made the announcement last week. Katie is leaving the radio station, leaving the radio industry in general completely. I keep telling myself the reason I haven't gotten super emotional or caught up in this just yet is because I keep telling myself that this isn't goodbye, because Katie, the plan is right now for Katie to check in and still be a regular on the show because she's not going anywhere else in media. So it's not like, there's any conflict there, just to really incredible opportunity for her and her family, and a job opportunity that she couldn't pass up. She will be tremendously missed. When I started, as you know, when we started this radio station, when we started these discussions, when we were over at the old place, and we were talking about the idea of this of getting a chance to work with Joe and Jeff again, and work at this new station. I said it to you. I told Jeff and Joe. I said, I'm not going to be the program director or the brand manager of the station if Katie's not there with me. And I'm not doing a show, I'm not doing my own show if Katie's not there with me. That's how important you were to me. And that's how important you have been to me. Been one of my best friends for a long time. And you'll be missed tremendously.
Thank you so much. First of all, I don't know how to take all of this. I don't know what to say because it feels so it's just hard. It's hard to put into words like how something like this feels and what to do, and hearing everybody talk about it. It also is like doesn't feel real for me. And then here we are, and I'm hearing everybody talk, and I'm hearing what everybody has to say, and it is such an emotional thing. I'm not usually somebody that's a crier. I will say I'm not someone that gets choked up, but this has been the best thing that ever could happen to me at a young age. There's not a lot of people, Tony, you and I talk about this all the time. There's not a lot of people that get opportunities to work in radio, especially not now.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was young, I had so many people, Tony being one of them, and so many others that took a chance on me and said, "You got something, kid. Let's see what you can do." And for that, I am forever grateful. For that, I am so thankful, because without you guys and without the leadership and without mentors that have helped me along the way, including Mike, Gabe, Stell, Ken, Vic, Chris, Tim, Joey, all of these people that I get to learn from every single day and I got to grow with every single day and beyond that, I wouldn't be here, and I wouldn't have been able to make it. So I'm just so thankful for everybody, and I'm just so thankful to the listeners too, because you guys saw a very weird 23-year-old get into this business who had no business getting into this business. And there was a lot of growth that had to happen, a lot of growing pains that had to happen. And you guys were always my cheerleaders and always people that rooted me on, whether it be from phone calls or online or talking to me through email. You guys have always been so supportive of me. And I cherish you all so much. So thank you guys. And I'm sorry, Emily, that this is where you're having to sit in the room and listen to all this.
Yeah,
but
if you've been watching on the cameras all day, the person in the background is our new producer Emily, who will be part of the team going forward. We don't know how it's all going to be put together, but we've got some time to make that decision, and we've got a great list of co-hosts and regular guests that are going to be joining me on this show over the next few weeks, at least through the month of July, while we put in a new permanent plan and figure out exactly what we're going to do to replace Katie's spot. But we'll be here for you as always to cover everything. It's amazing to me that we are in 2 days, we will be 2 weeks away from our third birthday here at News Talk STL. And we wouldn't be where very truly, Katie, we wouldn't be where we are without you. Without the entire team. It has been an incredible journey to this point, an incredible start to this great radio station. And even though you are leaving us on a daily basis, I know that you will still be a part of the family.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I can't leave. I mean, this is just so important. And there is so much more to go, people. I mean, it's 3 years, but we're just getting started. Like, seriously, News Talk STL is moving very fast. And in this election year, there's nowhere else that anyone needs to be but here with us, with you. And me sometimes too, I guess. I don't know. I can't part ways yet.
Well, and we will be talking to you again, and hopefully on a very regular basis moving forward. But we get back from the 4th of July holiday. We'll start our new rotation of guest hosts and new guests on a regular basis as we figure things out here on Colombo and question mark. We'll have to figure out that. We'll have to figure that part of it out too. But Katie, we will see you very soon, and we love you very much.
Thank you
for
all.
everything you've done for us.
Thank you.
All right. We roll on here. The O'Reilly Report is next, then the Tim Jones and Chris Arp Show next on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
Caring for a loved one is stressful. It's an emotional time, and we want our loved ones to get the quality of care they deserve. But the cost of long-term care is expensive. In the St. Louis area, it could be $60,000, $70,000, or even over $100,000.